Kids stealing, woo, wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. Jet, we Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Rick flaring, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Wops, then find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, you flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like them other guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring, sun up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, I'm back. Season 2, we here. Next level, bigger and better. Let's go.
See me letting go. I'ma lose control. I'm not afraid to fall. Watch me drink it in and feel it all.
8 p.m. Monday night, so you know it's time to tune in to the Afterglow show. Shout out to Kofi and them fam, you rattlers, the football historian. The audience is pouring in at this time like Jackson State playing Grambling. Both hosts like quarterbacks, but ain't scrambling. The Alcorn state of mind that I'm in got me blending in, but standing out like tiger skin. Shout out to TSU and all the recruits, turning down big schools for HBCUs. They changed up the scheme, so we changing the scenes. Money for our likeness is nice, but this means we gotta give it all that we got in this game. Black college grad myself, I went to pain. Pick, run, hit, or throw, that's your option. Discussing the coaches, wins, and the losses on the Afterglow.
See me letting go.
Scotty, you went crazy.
I'ma lose control.
Every Monday night at 8, super crazy. Featuring Kofi and your boy Scotty. You know what time it is.
Go,
Let's,
go,
you heard me. Let's,
go,
season 2.
go.
Enjoy.
is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. You already know what it is, Monday night. Afterglow show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you go ahead and like the stream. If you're new here, subscribe, do what you do, but watch my shoes. Listen, and at any point in time, on an in beginning show, if you don't like nothing I say, you can always
If I make you feel some type of way, if low key you just here to hate,
you can always unfollow me. But you already know what it is. It can't be the Afterglow show without my brother from another. My boy, come here, boy.
What up? What? What up? What? What up? What?
Man, why you come in? Why you come in here like you a boxer? You know what I'm saying? With the hood down, like, you know what I'm saying?
I was trying to be a Rihanna dancer and everything.
Oh my
I
God!
was trying to get that. There we go, right there.
That's not even looking at that with the hood. Chest all out, you know? With the white beater. Somebody said it looked like a bunch of sperm running around, but anyway, we gonna get into all that today, man. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. How was your weekend, man?
It was great, man. You know, my mom is a huge football fan, and so she was like, "Okay, now I want wings, and I want wings and chips and cheering. What y'all want? What y'all want? Because that's what we gonna do." So we got the little Hooters wings, and she was down there, and she is from Clarksdale, Mississippi. So she is heavy into African American history and stuff like that. So she was like, "Y'all know why this Super Bowl is important? Because there's 2 black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. And I'm going to be cheering for both of them." You know that lady on Good Times that be sitting up there talking about, you know that lady on Good Times that always be talking about, "Get it, boy, get it." That's my mama. I just want everybody to know that's my mama. Tell them that one person to be on the Jeffersons and Good Times at the same time.
Oh my God. Listen, so everybody knows tomorrow is Valentine's Day. You know, I don't believe in. I think that's a fake holiday.
I hate that darn holiday.
Thank you. Thank you. I thought I was the only person. So I'm gonna listen. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there who believes in it. Happy Valentine's Day for people who don't believe in it. I'm one of those. I don't believe in it. Like, listen. Hallmark made that day so they can make some money. Anyway, so my thing is this, right? Because I'm sitting here with my fiance, and I'm like, "What do you want to do for Valentine's Day, babe?" You know what I'm saying? Because I look at it like this, you know, she's pretty peculiar and everything like that. Listen, this is what she says, Kofi. This is the definition of women. She says, "I don't want to go to a restaurant. It gets too crowded." I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "What do you want?" She was like, "Steak." Now, you know I don't cook, Kofi. So it's like, where else am I going to get this from? She's like, "Oh, you can go to the restaurant and pick it up." I was like, "Babe, if I go to the restaurant and pick the steak up, it ain't going to be the same if I'm driving back and I got the steak and it get cold." Then she like, "Oh, we can eat it at the restaurant." I said, "Yo, you just told me that you didn't want to go to a restaurant." I'm like, if that's not the definition of a woman's logic, I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense.
Nah, well, I ain't gonna interfere with that, but I understand. I'm
like, bro, this is the stuff that Valentine's Day does to men. Just puts us in precarious situations that listen.
Well, for the record, my wife said the same thing. She was like, "I do not want to go to a restaurant. It is going to be 35, 45 to an hour wait everywhere we go. So I don't feel like doing that. babe, can we just get some stuff and just do it like that? I say, thank you. Yeah, we'll do that. So we're going to do that. And we're going to play strip Uno. Bravo, God. Call 2 on that mug. There we go. He is frozen.
Bro, it's so very much wrong with you. Oh my God.
Yep.
That's
I'm changing the color on y'all. There we go right there.
reverse on that ass.
Skip Uno out. There we go.
Oh man, listen. You know when somebody texts you say I hollered, bro, that was a real deal holler right there. Something is so wrong with you. Oh my God, I just got lightheaded. That was so funny. Oh,
but I'm gonna tell you this. This is a steak tip, okay?
oh,
So
geez.
if you get your olive oil and you get some nice real salted butter and you put it in the pan, put it on number 2, let it melt, but you season the steak with a nice bit of salt, throw some chili powder on that mug, and the little garlic that you get out of the jar, the minced garlic, and you season it, you put it in there, let it brown, let it simmer, just watch it, and then flip it over. And then do the same things. Salt, chili powder, a little pepper if you want, body of all-purpose seasoning, all that stuff works.
Man, I'm about to take that girl to Capitol Grill. We gonna call it a day. Boom,
Or you can get one of them, Atlanta Real Freaking stuff. You get your own little private chef and keep it going.
Listen, man, you're not about to make me jump through hoops on the day of Valentine's Day. Listen, man. Listen, come on, man. It's the 14th. Like, bro, it's the 14th. It's not even payday. It's the 14th.
It ain't on no Friday.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Y'all, man. Anyway, yeah, thank you, Book. You lost me at the pan. You know what I'm saying? Get you a pan. Kobe be cooking, man. I don't know, man. Y'all, man, Kobe be in there whipping it up. I'm talking about.
You can grill, but grilling steak. If you have an indoor grill, that'll be great. You got an outdoor grill if you're down with that, but that's just a lot of work, and I don't be feeling like having smoke in my face like that. So
yeah, I feel you. I'll be probably gonna go to Waffle House and just get a nice little steak from Waffle House. You know what I'm saying? 2 T-bones, please. 2 T-bones smothered in cover. Oh, she gonna bust in like, the hell we not. Anyway, let's continue on. Hey, Kofi, listen, bro. Yo, I might not know what style is nowadays. I'm not that fashion forward. But if this don't look like Sunday's best in your aunt, you know what I'm saying? Listen, and everybody has that grandma that wears purple everything, purple ring.
All he needed was the darn hat. If he had the darn hat along with that mother thing, that outfit would have been complete.
Could tell that boy nothing. He is Sunday ready. Do you hear me?
He had Kojic mother written all over. I mean, straight Kojic mother.
First lady and everything,
First lady. I was just waiting for him to go. Oh, magnify the Lord, for he is worthy to be praised. Can't nobody do me like Jesus. Can't nobody
do me like the Lord. These are the church announcements. That boy needs some kidney hills while you play.
Oh my God, bro. Like,
oh man, when I saw this, I said, that boy know he in trouble. And the jury doesn't make it any better.
Oh, the jury he was giving cleavage all day long.
Oh my goodness. Man, listen, whoever dressed that boy need to be fired today. today, boy. Today. But when I saw that, I said, man, hey, Kofi, hey, listen, Kofi sent me this picture, this meme. So if y'all like this picture, Kofi sent that joke to me. That joke was hilarious. When I saw it, I said, oh, I'm using that. I said, oh, I am using that about to be my new Jake right there. That Jesus. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, that Jesus, I don't know. That's hot. All right. Let's get into the best commercial. Listen, you already know what it is. That's all they talk about in the Super Bowl. Best commercial of what's going on in the Super Bowl. Best commercial, Kofi. I think we both, hands down, we both picked. Listen, Tubi.
That Tubi commercial, bro.
Got me.
I went looking for my remote. I was like, wait, am I sitting? What in the world? I was like, Max, you got the remote. Stop. Look for the darn remote. I was mad at that mug and was like, oh, it's a darn commercial. They got me.
Man, listen, we had a Super Bowl watch party at our church, and we watching it at the church, and everybody's like, yo, like we was because they had it on a projector. So we watching it on a projector. Everybody like, yo, what is? And then we was like, oh, they got us. Oh, they got us. You know,
look, that commercial and the Uber commercial with Diddy, and I'm a big, I love the new movies because they know everybody gonna be watching right there. So I'm already going to see Ant-Man. But the Flash movie, I was like, oh, I'm going to see that one.
For me, I ain't gonna even hold you. If Tubi's commercial didn't come up, that dog commercial with the girl in the bed, listen, I was 2 more seconds away from a tear coming down my face. When she started singing to the dog, I was about to lose it. I was about to get some tissue. Listen, y'all might not want to admit, I don't give a damn. Yeah, that farmer's dog, that thing, I'm telling you. Listen, that thing, it was close. Ooh, it was close. I was so close. Let's go the worst commercial. The worst commercial had to be Pringles with the hand stuck in the Pringles jar. And I'm like, what the heck? What the hell?
What was they thinking about?
Like,
y'all had a 365 days to come up with something. And that was the best that y'all could do. Because my hand don't get stuck in the Pringles jar. I just turn the little jar open and let the chips out. That's what you do.
Man. That's what black people put it on your hand and you open it up like that. I'm like, that was absolutely horrible. I'm like, if people get paid for these ideas, like,
yeah, that was bad. Like, we need to be writing for some commercials or something like that. We could.
I ain't gonna lie. What was pretty funny, I didn't think it was good, but it was pretty funny. Is the Jeep commercial with the goat at the end when the goat was.
Oh, bro, yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Hey, the triangle commercial I thought was funny. The one with Jack Harlow.
Yes, that was crazy.
When he did the triangle cologne, I died. Bro, I died. I thought that was pretty funny. I thought the triangle commercial, I thought it was funny. Tubi
stuff was just genius.
It was.
Now everybody's talking about Tubi.
Yeah. Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I think it was on like let me see. Trash, another bad commercial.
What do you think of Dion's commercial?
I like it because it showed a black family. You know what I'm saying? Like, kudos. But I mean, I didn't think it was anything special. I didn't think it was anything creative. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm glad they showed a black family. I mean, that was cool. I think the Pete Davidson one was horrible.
Let me tell you what movie I am sick of. I am sick of the freaking Fast and Furious.
Oh, they gotta let that go.
I'm like, what else is they finna do?
Yeah, they gotta let that go.
That movie gets on my nerves. I'm sick of the darn Fast and Furious. How many darn Fast and Furious has it been?
It's on X now.
Jesus, ridiculous.
But the thing for me in the Fast and Furious is just that it's gone so far from where it started from. That's my biggest issue. Like, it was literally, I love Fast and the Furious because it was about the cars and actually racing and drag racing and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden, these Bamas became superheroes, like cars flying and
movie.
you know what I'm saying? They over there working with ninjas and shooting out rockets on the side of cars. And I'm like, how did we go from drag racing to shooting out rockets on the side of cars? How did we get here?
It's bad.
Like, Fast and Furious has become Transformers. If we're being honest,
God.
If we're being honest, the Fast and Furious became Transformers. Like, yeah, I'm sick. I'm absolutely sick of it. All right, listen. I know what y'all came for. This is what y'all came for. Halftime review. Kofi, you want to pop it off? You want me to pop it off? Because I feel like you're gonna be nice.
Okay, so I'm a big performance guy, right? I love the staging. I love the subtle messages that Rihanna did, and she did all of her hits, and she had 1 million dancers out there, and they was dancing their tails off.
It was trash, Kofi. I don't care what you say. That joke was trash.
But let me finish.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She's not a quintessential like Beyonce-like performer. Like, but if I'm ranking her, she doesn't make the top 10 in Super Bowl performances.
Absolutely does not.
She's not a dancer. She can hold a tune, but she's not what I would consider a singer. But she's in the headline. She is trending. She is doing it. She did it for free. She had a baby. She kept it a secret. It was just,
Thank you. She don't even make the top 20 in my opinion. I agree. Listen, I don't give a damn. See, and that's what's selfish about it. She used her she did what Beyonce did at the VMAs for the Super Bowl. She instead of giving us a great performance, she wanted it to be about her being pregnant for the second time. And I don't give a damn. Who you sleep with is your business. I was there for a performance and you did not give me one. And I'll tell you, the stage was set, Kofi. It was dope.
The stage was dope.
Oh, it was set. Listen, the stage was set for it to be magnificent with the floating stage and going up and down. I said, oh, this is about to be lit. And then she opened up her coat and I said, you pregnant ass. I said, you ain't about to do nothing.
And then she didn't even do the darn Wakanda song.
Oh, yeah.
I was just waiting for a Chadwick Boseman thing, something to draw me in emotionally, and it was just meh,
And then she didn't even bring no features out. She had no features. Even Beyonce brought out Bruno, and she Beyonce.
Yeah, Beyonce. Yeah,
that was brought out Kanye West.
Beyonce brought out Destiny's Child.
You could have brought out Kanye. Jay-Z. If you would have brought out Kanye West for all
Chris Brown.
Come on, man.
Umbrella.
I was looking for Kanye West for all of the lights. That's what I wanted. Something wrong. I hold my head. MJ go. My nigga dead. Like, I was waiting for it. I was about to go insane, which I'm like, man, this is it was tragic. I was so hurt. I was so hurt.
It was just a regular show. It was nothing spectacular about it, except for the stage. And I like the dancers, but
he said he canceled. That's fair. I ain't even going. That's fair. He is canceled. So yeah, overall, man, listen, I think the stage was amazing. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. If they would have had me up on that, Jake, I'd be like,
what? That high in the air like that, bro?
Ain't no way I would have been singing. I would have been like,
And on the TV, I saw it swaying, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I would have been like, bitch better have my money. I would have been scared. Y'all don't know me, Ellen. Why is this rocking? I would have like, why is this swaying? I'm already at heights too.
What?
Man.
Oh
Boy,
my God.
I would have been, man, listen. So, yeah, I just, whew.
Yeah. But the
Hey,
pregame, that darn national anthem.
Yeah, I gotta get. Yes, Chris Stapleton can sing Tennessee Whiskey. If you haven't heard Tennessee,
What? That is the song.
you got your cotton picking mind.
That brother there can sing.
Yeah. So, shout out to him. Shout out to the Black National Anthem. The disrespect that it was showed, though, the pure disrespect that people have been showing the Black National Anthem is just outrageous to me. Outrageous. So, hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie, Babyface killed that America Beautiful.
Okay.
That was probably the best 3 singers I've heard, like just like for everything that you were trying to do it for. Yeah, Cheryl Lee Ralph, absolutely.
She's a bona fide, like she is a star. And just hearing her testimony and all of that stuff and how she was like the Cosby Show came down to her and Felicia Rashad. Now I do think they got that right.
Babyface. I'm sorry.
But to see where she is now and with the do you watch Abbott's Elementary?
No. Listen, that's not my type of humor. I'm sorry. It's just not my type of humor.
My wife don't get it, but that thing has me rolling.
Yeah, that's not my type of humor.
I love this show.
Yeah, I heard it's a good show. I've watched a few episodes, but it's just not my type of humor. So I just kind of let it go. It gives me like the Black Office type of feel, and I'm not a fan of The Office. So it's like the Black Office. I'm not just because you black ain't make it funny to me. So it's just humor. So it is all right. Me and Kofi have a list of artists that we would like to see do the Super Bowl halftime show. All right, Kofi, your list is up first, right? These are me and Kofi's male and female potential artist list that we would like to see at the Super Bowl halftime. All right.
So for male, I got Jay-Z. I feel like Jay-Z would freaking shut it down. Beyonce's been up there. He's surely going to bring his wife out there. And, that's just a straight show. Drake would straight kill it. LL Cool J, for the old and the new, he would do a phenomenal show. Mm-hmm. If you bring Outkast, it is going to be shut all the way down. And Chris Brown is just a straight entertainer. I know Usher's had more #1 hits, but I just like Chris Brown's stuff and his shows more.
Yeah, he's way more. He's a performer. He's an entertainer.
Yeah. So that's my males.
Yeah, I listen, I love that Chris Brown pick, bro. I really think they have been sleeping on Chris Brown, that he has not been decided as a Super Bowl performer. I think he would absolutely murder.
Chris Brown would go into a darn Michael Jackson tribute and shut it down.
You might gotta give Chris Brown 40 minutes. 40 to 40. You might have to give Chris Brown 40 to 45 minutes. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Chris Brown would kill. He would be lights out at the darn Super Bowl. He would be amazing.
I think he's a perfect example for that. All right, this is my male list. All right, I listen. #1 was Chris Brown. I'm like, listen, I'm a fan. Okay, I am a true fan. #1 was Chris Brown. #2, listen, I love Kanye. Okay. Would I like to see Kanye as a halftime performer? I absolutely would.
He would be he's a genius now.
You know what I'm saying? #3, Silk Sonic. I need it. Smoking out the window. I need it. I need Silk Sonic.
All day.
Drake, I don't think he's a great performer. I just think he has great songs.
He got great songs. And he would bring other people out.
And Burna Boy. I know a lot of y'all probably don't know who Burna Boy is or whatever. It's Afro beats and everything like that. But I think Burna Boy, Afro beats Wiz Kid comes out, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of that type of Afrobeat music, I think it would absolutely be electric. All right, absolutely be electric if Burna Boy did a halftime show. But that's my top 5. Now let's get into the female side of this thing, Kofi.
Yes, sir.
Break down your female list.
Give me Fantasia. She gonna sing you happy. She can just stand flat-footed, and that energy is gonna be high energy, gonna give you that voice. Adele is amazing. She's more of a balladeer, but I could take her at halftime. Taylor Swift, she has more hits than anybody. She's off the chain. But her, I love her genius. And you got to give me Janet Jackson one more time. You got to give me Janet Jackson one more time, because they tried to, I didn't like how everything went down, whether it was Nipplegate or not Nipplegate, whatever. She can have another wardrobe malfunction for all I care. But, you know, for me, Janet Jackson is, after Beyonce, there's not a greater female entertainer or from a dance perspective than Janet. It'd be huge.
I'm trying to see Nipplegate Part 2. You know what I'm That's what I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see Nipplegate Part 2. See if they change the piercing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
My female list is a little different. All right, my female list just hits a little different. Number 1 is her. I love her. Her is her. She is her. All right, I think she went back to her original name of her, like her real name, but I'm still calling you her. Jhené Aiko. I know she's a little too slow. That's a personal one for me. I think number 2s in my list are just personal favorites. Okay, Kanye and Jhené. Jhené might be a little too slow, and you know what I'm saying. Number 3 gotta be Missy Elliott.
Missy would kill it.
You know what I'm saying?
Missy, she's already been on though, right?
She came as a feature. She came as a feature. And Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. I think either one of those two as rappers, I think they can hold their own. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I want some upbeat. I know Janae's probably like the opposite of upbeat, but you know, it is what it is. But you know, I agree with you. Her, it would be absolutely amazing. But Nicki Minaj, Missy Elliott, you know what I'm saying? I think they could kill it just as well. All right, guys, listen, we go get to the nitty-gritty Super Bowl breakdown. If you don't remember who picked the winner,
oh, stop.
Let me just bring that back up to your remembrance.
They cheated.
Let me just bring to you the remembrance with all these things due in remembrance of me. Okay? So once again, I have picked the winner. You know, I was pretty close. Pretty close. Kofi, any parts of the games you want to recap other than your loss?
Well, I mean, that ain't my team, but let me just say, I felt like Jalen Hurts, the game was there for the taking for the Eagles. That obviously his fumble was the difference in the score. Mm-hmm. But anytime you score 4 touchdowns, you know, you're a bad dude. And I think that he showed America and the world that he's a legit NFL QB. And he's got the heart of a champion. Obviously, the call with a minute and some odd left, a 3rd and 8, after allowing these guys to be physical the entire game and to call a holding call like that, that practically decided the game. And, you know, for me, obviously, did he grab him? Yeah. But they was grabbing the whole game. So why are you calling it now? You know, it decided the outcome of the game. That being said, that was one of the things that decided the outcome of the game. The other thing that decided it was the tenaciousness, and I want to say the intensity, the championship intensity that Kansas City brought to the table, especially in the trenches. They brought that energy, and I did not think that I felt like Philadelphia's defensive line was better than Kansas City's offensive line, but I mean, they couldn't even get to Mahomes, you know, which was shocking for me with that Philadelphia front. But Andy Reid, just the play calling, all of that stuff, the wide receiver moves down at the goal line. I was like, that is straight textbook, bro. Like, you can learn a lot, just simply just watch. I'm like, Andy Reid is just straight genius. Then you couple him with a guy like Mahomes, it's like, boom. But for me, obviously, the difference came down to that Hurts fumble in the first half. If they don't fumble that ball there, Philadelphia wins by 7.
Okay. So not also did I pick the winner. Just want to be very clear about that. For me, this game came down to the Eagles not having a defense, because that's what everybody. This was if I'm not mistaken, if it wasn't the number one defense, wasn't it the number one defense coming into this game? So the fact that their defense got exposed the way that it did in this game, it's not on the refs, it's not on Jalen, it's simply on the Philadelphia Eagle defense not showing up. Period. The front seven, which everybody raved about, which they all had double-digit sacks and they all did this and they didn't do shit. In the biggest game of the year, they were no-shows.
They didn't smell Mahomes.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is, listen, Andy Reid was in his bag, okay? Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, I don't care who you want to give. Listen, I was seeing formations that I haven't seen since 2005. They went split back, offset eye, ace formation. I've rarely seen the Kansas City Chiefs go under center as much. They did a fullback counter in the offset eye. I haven't seen that in years. When I tell you that you do whatever, and I got to give Nick Sirianni and his office coordinator credit too, because this is the thing that I have a problem with when it comes to the league, and I'm gonna blow myself up, and we can talk about it. The issue that I have with offensive coordinators in the league is that they overthink the offense. The Eagles literally would go 5 wide and tell Jalen, run for 2 yards, 1 for 5 yards. Like, it was just it's so simple. It makes it seem like, man, why can't we all do that? Because it's too many times that you overthink offensive play calling, right? Granted, the scrum that the Eagles have made famous now, they're a quarterback sneak with dude, they get like 3 yards a pop every single time. So of course it makes sense for me to run the ball on 3rd and 3. If I pick up 2 yards, I'm gonna do my scrum. We gonna keep it rolling. It's common sense. They don't make it hard. It's just simple play calling that they execute at a high level. And I have to give credit to both teams. It was like no holding calls all game.
Until
offensive holding. It wasn't that much offensive holding. The Kansas City Chiefs did a lot. I mean, defensively, they had a lot of offsides and just, jump. But it was a very, very disciplined game. So even though you want to blame James Bradbury for the hold, overall, the game was refereed A1, let's be honest. And then 2, it wasn't a lot of penalty. It was a very, very disciplined game.
It was clean. It was clean.
Very clean game. So overall, I blame the Eagles defense. They did not show up. Jalen Hurts did everything he could, because at the end of the day, what you did not want to happen was the Eagles to get in a shootout with Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. So at the end of the day, that's not where you wanted to be. You wanted to be where Jalen Hurts did what he did, and our defense could keep them to 24, 25 points, and we walk out here with a dub. You see what I'm saying? And the first half, it looked like that. Now, I don't know what kind of Space Jam water Andy Reid gave Patrick Mahomes for the second half, but they did not. They scored on every single possession in the second half. I want that to sink into you. They scored on every single possession in the second half.
This is the thing that's just so. This is how you know that Andy Reid know what he's doing. When their wide receivers catch passes, Mahomes can make that tight window throw, right? But them Bamas be wide open. I'll be like, holy moly, just wide open. Mahomes see a hole with his broke ankle and everything, and he just I'm like, are you kidding me? Why is this happening? That just the breakdowns, the stuff that they see on that level is just crazy, man. I'm just like, wow.
Amazing.
Andy Reid has always had my respect, but he definitely has my respect now.
I like this. Kalonji Brown said the fumble didn't cost them the game. They were up 2 scores going into half, even without it. So that's agreed.
I mean, they did, but I mean, the thing is that fumble was not just a fumble; it was a fumble that's it's a fumble score. That was 7 points.
Yeah. Still. I mean, and they missed a field goal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I would say this, and I know people gonna be like, we're not talking about the Cowboys or whatever, but the motion that you saw Kansas City do is the same reason I preach. I'm not even bringing up the Cowboys. It's the same reason I preach in every game in the SWAC, and I tell you why you go in motion. I say it every single game. When you watch that horrible ass offense that Southern plays and they don't move, they don't have any motion, or you see people go against Jackson, they don't have any motion. I'm telling you, motion helps out your quarterback. It helps out your offense. It's no different than a pick and roll in basketball. You do a pick and roll to make the defenders have to communicate to understand, are you going to go up? Am I going to stay? You make them make those decisions, and on the back end, you pick the other option. So the fact that Andy Reid, the offensive coordinator, saw that they were trying to bump it over and they would drop off like in a high coverage, and he just stopped and it was genius, man. Pure genius.
Andy Reid is straight amazing, bro. There's nothing. And just going back to that whole trifecta thing, their front office does an excellent job of finding the right personnel. They don't freaking miss. Pacheco in the darn 7th round.
That kid is talk about him, Kofi. That kid different. He good.
7th round, bruh. I mean, they saw it. Even to take the chances that they took to get Mahomes, was just straight genius. Yeah. You got somebody that is a true difference maker. In the football games, man. He is Hall of Fame already. Just Pacheco, man. He runs with intensity, speed, quickness, can catch. He's the real deal.
And for a little back, he runs between the tackles. Like
he's tough. He's got that.
And at the end of the day, this is the thing. If I'm being honest, I felt like he was the heart of that team for the first half because they couldn't really get anything going. You know what I'm saying? So when they started moving the ball, they started with Pacheco, you know what I'm saying? In the second half, running the ball, fullback offset, split back toss, all those running formations. He was churning those yards out, 3 yards, 7 yards, 20 yards. Like, he was that guy for them when Patrick couldn't get going, when that offense couldn't get going. So the fact that they trusted him,
a rookie.
Come on, man. That's
7th round.
That's huge, man. Absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. All right, we talked about it earlier, but the real question, is it a flag? Yes or no? Is this a flag?
It's flag. It's flag.
Go ahead.
The only thing is it's a flag. He held, but he was doing it the entire game. So be consistent. That's my point. It's a flag.
Man, listen. James said he held. It's very simple to me. I think he held. If James said he held, I believe he held. That's all. His mama called him Cassius. I'm gonna call him Cassius.
The boy held. He held.
He held. You know what I'm saying? Tough one, but it is what it is. It happens. Listen, great game by Jalen Hurts. Do you see the Eagles getting back to this position?
They'll be in the mix.
Okay.
They'll be there.
Okay.
Obviously Minnesota hasn't proven anything. So, where Aaron Rodgers lands is going to be key. I think the Cowboys can do it, but they got to fill in those holes, and Dak has to get over that hump. The Rams will be back if they can stay healthy. So, I mean, 49 is going to be right there, but the Eagles match up well with them. So, you know, I don't see them going anywhere. I think Jalen has that dog in him. And the way that team is built, you still have the best wide receiver tandem in the game, top 3 wide receiver tandem in the game.
Hey, man, that A.J. Brown trade, man.
Bro, I mean,
every penny.
I'm like, who in the world, you know, and then, you know, they can run the ball with the offensive line that they have. So when you have that combination, you know, it's going to be tough to beat. People are going to scheme, but it's hard to scheme somebody busting you in the mouth. You got to upgrade your personnel. You got to find a way to pressure Hurts in such a way, you know, that it makes a difference. And it's going to be tough because they can just beat you in so many different ways. So they're going to be back.
Yeah, listen, I wouldn't hire that Bama ever. I wouldn't hire that Bama for no other. If you trade A.J. Brown away, the best receiver you had on that team.
You idiot.
Shout out to Howie Roseman for getting them for a bag of chips and a Sprite. I mean, absolutely amazing.
You
call lines are open. Last question. Oh, I got 2 more questions. I'm sorry. This is my thing. Let's really break this down, right? Eric Bieniemy cannot seem to get a head coaching job. But this Bama, the Eagles offensive coordinator, after 1 year, because remember the year before they sucked. The year before they sucked. This year, he takes them to the Super Bowl. He's in the running for the head coach's job at the Colts. What is going on? Like, what?
I don't know. You know, people, I don't know what they're looking at. I know what they're looking at. Obviously, they're looking at this. You know, and I hate to say it, but you got an offensive coordinator that has won 2 Super Bowls, been to 3. They're in the AFC Championship every single year. They had a change, lost the probably one of the fastest wide receivers in the game, in Tyreek, and they still found a way to do it and get it done. You know, yeah, Andy Reid, but look, he gets credit for being in that atmosphere and knowing how to run a darn team.
White people get it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Andy Reid was with Bill Walsh, right?
No, he was with the dude from Seattle, the big white boy from Seattle. But my thing is this. What's that Bama? What's the Bama that used to coach for Seattle? Mike Holmgren. That's his tree. He's from the Mike Holmgren tree. Thank you so much, Dave. He's from the Mike Holmgren tree. This is my thing. White counterparts get opportunities because they're in a winning organization. The Bama that got the job for the Bengals did not call plays for Sean McVay. He didn't call plays for Sean McVay, but yet he got the job at the Bengals.
That's crazy.
The coach before Brian Daboll, Joe Judge, was a special teams coordinator. I mean, shall we continue? Matt Patricia.
Come on, man.
Defensive coordinator, but we know who running that. That's Bill Belichick's defense.
All day, every day.
We know what that is. So it's just funny how the counterparts, his white counterparts, aren't asked to be they're not asked to be play callers. They're not asked to be, they're just asked to be underneath a winning program or underneath a winning coach. But Eric Bieniemy being underneath Andy Reid isn't given the same opportunities.
For a long period of time. And, you know, people look for different things in an interview. I want to know what specifically what they're looking at. You know, what do you want in a coach? I want a coach that knows football, that can motivate men and has an eye for talent, you know, and can get discipline, get a team to play disciplined, consistent football. That's what I want. You know, obviously, you know, Mike Holmgren comes from the Bill Walsh tree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, all of that stuff with the West Coast, being around those players, being around a championship environment like that, I want that in my organization. And I got to weaken the darn Chiefs some kind of way. Because they're going to be in the AFC Championship again.
Listen, I'll tell you this. I would have took Dallas. First of all, Dallas ain't never going to hire no black head coach. But I would have took Dallas hiring Eric Bieniemy as a lateral move to replace our offensive coordinator. I would have took that. Because you know it wouldn't have been the guy that we got. I don't even know his name no more. Freaking big white boy. I'm so pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have took Eric Bieniemy to be our offensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it is what it's just amazing to me. It's just and this is such Adam Gase been at the Jets and the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? Like
two jobs
and
failed at both.
And still got back in the league as an offense. I think like an O-line coach or something. Listen, man, it's just crazy. The requirements and the restrictions on being black, and then you get this Rooney Rule, which ain't doing shiznit for nobody. So it's just amazing to me how this is continually going on, and the NFL is not doing enough about it. And once again, if your representation at the top is not like you, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get hired.
That's just crazy, man. It's sad. And until the system is confronted the right way, like somebody goes in there with a tape recorder behind the scenes, you know, to hear these backdoor conversations and stuff, you know, that's the way you have to expose these jokers.
Crazy. All right, last question before we get to the call lines. Call lines are open, 518-263-8124.
You are the only participant in the conference.
518-263-8124.
All participants are muted.
All right, last question. Is he a Hall of Famer right now?
Hands down. That's crazy. Duh.
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
Hey, he about to be top 3. He should be top 3.
I personally feel right now he's on the trajectory. He could knock Tom Brady's stuff out of the water.
Yeah.
He could catch Tom Brady's championships.
Listen, I'm gonna keep it a brick with you. I think he's top 3. That's just my personal list. I think it goes Brady, Montana, and Mahomes. I think that's how it goes. That's just me personally. That's how I feel. I'm just tell you how I feel. That's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So
I put Mahomes over Brady off of talent. You know, Brady is, you know, obviously he works so hard. He reads defenses, his arm, he's accurate. His footwork is phenomenal. But Mahomes is just a better athlete, bro. Just, you know, and he's got ice in his veins. Like when the game gets tight, that joker don't miss. And you can have him under pressure falling down and he's still seeing somebody out of the darn corner of his eye and he hits them on a dime.
Crazy.
Brady can't do that. Brady can't do that.
Listen, I think for me, the crazy, and this is even 27. The kid is 27.
He's Hall of Famer right now.
The only thing that wouldn't, listen, I'm going to be honest with y'all. The only thing that keeps me from him being number 1 is his wife. Can't stand her. I can't stand her. Can't stand that white woman. I can't stand her. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing right now that's going to keep me from it. I don't think I can ever put him at number 1. I can't, unless he divorced that woman. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I know. Listen, they judged T.O.'s personal off the field stuff and kept him out as a first ballot Hall of Famer. So I can definitely hold him accountable for having 1, an ugly white woman wife, and then 2, she's annoying as hell. So I can hold him out of number 1 for that. I'm just being honest. I'm gonna just be a whole buck about it. I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. That's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna hold it against him. You know what I'm saying? It just is.
Yeah, he's Hall of Famer. I mean, till somebody knocks him off. I just, now Burrow has that ice, but other than Burrow, there's nobody else in the AFC that is proven in the postseason, except for maybe Russell Wilson. So I'll have to see how that experiment goes with Sean Payton and see if he's the genius that everybody says that he is.
Hey, that boy Patrick Mahomes got a daddy. He got a black daddy, okay?
Yeah, that Joker daddy is.
Hey, that Joker daddy is black, like
Zulu black, like that side.
He a real ninja. I fucks with his dad though. I fucks with his dad the long way. He's dope. All right, David, coming to you, 7909. What's up, dude?
What up, Scotty? How you doing? What's going on, Kofi?
Hey, man, how are you?
Of course, Patrick. Doing good. Of course, Patrick Mahomes is already a Hall of Famer. It's no brainer. This is a no-brainer. The man's 27 years old, and he's already a two-time All-Pro. Brady didn't get that until he was 30.
Woo.
I don't think folks don't realize. Like, I think they give Brady a lot of credit for the 3 Super Bowls. They talk about, like, the drives he pulled off in those Super Bowls. But they don't talk about the fact that he had a phenomenal team around him. What Mahomes did with the squad he had this year, considering what he lost, people don't talk about what he lost either. He lost a top 3 wide receiver in the league. And he still took them boys to the Super Bowl. With the high ankle sprain, by the way.
Facts.
I don't know what the hell, how he pulled that off.
What I'm going to say is
he's a Hall of Famer.
Go ahead, Kof.
Mahomes is hands down a Hall of Famer. I think, though, the Chiefs front office gets credit for understanding talent and understanding where they needed to plug those holes. You have a world-class QB. When they played in the last Super Bowl that they played in against Tampa Bay, the offensive line couldn't hold a candle against Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay's defense trounced them in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl. So they went back and they shored up that area of their game, and consequently, that offensive line held its own and then some against what many and what I felt was the best defense in the darn NFL. I mean, Mahomes didn't get sacked. He wasn't under pressure a whole bunch. He had a clean pocket to throw. So, that offensive line for me, coupled with Andy Reid's play calling is multiple Super Bowls, hands down. As long as Andy Reid is there, they could catch Brady and Belichick. The offensive line situation, I completely agree with you because I remember that Tampa Super Bowl, and I knew the moment that I knew that the Chiefs were going to lose that game. I looked at the starting lineup and I saw Mike Remmers, and I had flashbacks of Cam Newton, knowing that Mike Remmers played left tackle for them as well, and I knew what it was. Yeah.
Hey, I think what a lot of people aren't even talking about, David, is the journeyman at running back. They turned Jerick McKinnon into a star. Like, he was a fantasy. Yeah. Man, listen, when I picked that dude up in fantasy,
he won me a championship. He won me a championship in my high stakes league. So I thank Jerick McKinnon for the valiant effort that he did.
And he
took me home a nice little bag.
You know what I'm saying? He's been a journeyman for so long. I think the Vikings, the 49ers, but he gets to Kansas City and you see him really become a star. And then on top of that, they plug in the 7th rounder and he does just as well. It's just it just is a full team effort. People thought Juju Smith-Schuster wasn't a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't, the guy or whatever. And he showed up big. They trade for Kadarius Toney, a former NFL New York Giant. He makes a big play for the punt return. I mean, like, they just plug it. Nicole Hardman, like, it's just piece after piece after piece.
And remember why they picked up Nicole Hardman? They picked up Nicole Hardman because they were concerned about Tyreek Hill. They thought that Tyreek Hill was going to get in trouble, so they drafted Nicole Hardman just in case Tyreek Hill was going to miss time. That was the original premise of why they drafted McCall Hardman.
Yeah. They are detailed, bro, and that's how you win championships. I mean, Andy Reid is like
Exactly.
the white Nick Fury. You give him an eye patch and make him the white Nick Fury. He be sitting up there in the rooms and stuff in the back room, and he'd be like, I can use him. I can use him.
And then,
you know,
Eric the enemy, man, like he got to get some of these flowers, Joe, because I think at this point, if I was Eric the enemy, I would just wait until Reed retires, bro. I would just wait, see if she's going to give him that gig after Reed retires.
That's fair.
Because these owners have lost their mind.
That's fair.
He's not getting this opportunity.
That's absolutely fair. Hey, man, Dave, appreciate the call.
I would just wait. Why in the hell would I leave?
I mean, it's a great franchise. You got Patrick Mahomes locked up for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? You straight. Your quarterback locked up for 10 years. You straight.
It's great.
Yeah. Look, why would I leave at this point? And that's the same thing with Mayo in New England, right? Because they were talking like Mayo was declining interview opportunities, and and I live in the Northeast now, and word got out that I guess when Belichick retires, Mayo's going to be the new head coach. So it's like, why am I going to leave? I might get sent into a nice little situation in New England.
Too easy.
Good ownership. They want to win. So
it is what it is. I appreciate the call, though, D.
Absolutely.
Hey, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I listen, and the thing about even with the Melvin Gordon situation, right? They bring him in. He's not what they thought they are. They put him on the practice squad. Like, the one thing I absolutely love about coaches that don't care about your name is that they're only going to play who's productive. Can you produce, right? That's the issue we have at Dallas. Zeke has this name, so he plays, but when you're looking at the field, bro, you're not productive. You're not the guy. You're not that guy anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's going with guys that can get the job done and not based off your name or what you used to do. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is. Reese, coming to you. What's up, Reese? You live?
Yo. All right. Hey, you remember the commercial last year with the QR code?
With the what?
The QR code.
No, I don't remember that.
What? Okay, so the commercial last year for the Super Bowl, it just was a black screen with the QR code, like you know how they had the DVD video where it goes from corner to corner. But QR code,
like the old,
but I think that's the
old screensaver, like when they used to bounce around and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was trying to say, which commercial was the best, that one or the Tubi?
Tubi. Tubi, hands down.
Tubi.
Yeah. That Tubi started some fights.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, I threw a Super Bowl party, man, and everybody turned around and looked at me like I did it. I'm like, I put my hands up like, hey, I didn't do it.
The Tubi one hands down, because it literally made everybody self-check themselves. But it's funny. The reason it's so funny is because how TV is watched today, right? So everybody's streaming. So it's like that's how everybody watches television. So it's like, you know, it would be different if everybody was on cable. It wouldn't really hit you that. You'd be like, what's this? But since everybody is streaming, everybody
was streaming,
it was a perfect commercial. So yeah, I definitely give it to Tubi.
That's how I want it.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, Reese.
Bruh.
Dog, that was crazy. I was like, who picking Mr. I was like, who picking that? Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Who picking that?
Bruh.
Wow, it was hot. Absolutely.
Listen.
Absolutely hot. All right, man. We don't got nobody on the call lines. I shut it down. What you got coming up, Kofi, this week?
Man, not a whole lot. You know, we got ONG Strike Zone. We got guests coming on, athletes, coaches, you know, trying to get through the nitty-gritty. We're about to start spring football, so that's going to be a hot topic, as, you know, everybody's liking. Of course, they're continuing to be aggressive when it comes to signing athletes that they believe can help the squad to get to a championship level. So we'll be exploring all of that coming in, and we're going to talk about who our next basketball coaches are going to be, and that sort of thing, because, you know, we're sick and tired of losing to people that we don't feel that we should lose to. And it's just gotten to a point where everybody's like, okay, well, who's next? Who could, we're going to have the top 5 prospects to coach the FAMU men's basketball team. And we're going to have the top 5 prospective coaches. I think Pillow maybe have earned, if she can close strong.
Dog, stop it.
She has to close strong, but that's her last hope.
Stop it, bro. Stop it. She needs to definitely be gone. And I had such high hopes for that team. I really did. Especially when they beat Georgia State. I think they beat Georgia State, or
yeah.
I had really high hopes, but it's just not. It just isn't what it is. All right, listen. If you want to go watch the show about the ESPN contract and with the SWAC contract, that show is still out. You can go watch that and check that out. Kofi, did you watch the show, the ESPN contract show?
I didn't watch it all the way through, but I'm very familiar with that whole.
So
this is straight common sense. It's straight common sense. $700,000, 12 SWAC teams is $60K per school. Why would you submit to something like that? And ESPN keeps betting that African Americans are going to continue to be brand oriented and continue to follow that. You know, the numbers are there for the SWAC to do way better. Way better. Each school should at least be taking home 1.5 mil minimum. But the opportunity is there to take home much more if they just open up and stop listening to people that don't know what they're doing. And it's becoming clearer. And I really like McClellan. I liked him. But it's starting to look like, you know, he's on the way. He got some troubling waters coming up. He got some troubled waters coming, because as soon as the schools really wake up and listen, there has to be a renegotiation. But, you know, the presidents don't serve McClellan. McClellan serves the presidents.
Absolutely.
He's in a position to do the best, what's in the best interest of the presidents. And the presidents want more recognition, and they want more money. They need more money. They need more exposure.
And this is a good point by Mr. D. It's even less than that, because, you know, the SWAC gets 40% of that.
That's ridiculous. And because the sorry, I'm going to clean this up.
You're fine. You're fine.
And because your presidents don't know the business, or they haven't placed a real value or real attention to it, they accept anything. Hey, y'all, we having a banquet. What we got? McDonald's? Okay. It's a banquet. You have the best content in the entire country. You can't get SWAC football everywhere. You can't get the bands. You can't get the step teams.
Absolutely.
You can't get that with the Big Ten. Yeah, the Big Ten has your those matchups. But our content is worth millions. People want to see it.
Absolutely.
I mean, even look at just the darn Black Panther with just the little pageantry that they had in the darn movie. People are eating that stuff up. Anytime a black show is on TV, a solid one goes to number one. Cosby Show went to number one because they tapped into the culture. People wanted to see, you know, the Cosby family doing baby, you know, along with the life stuff that they came up with the excellent life comedy. Even Blackish was solid.
Oh, yeah, I love that show. I love that show.
Martin is iconic. You know, we have what people want to see. So stop lowballing or allowing yourself to be lowballed in such a way that you shortchange your future and your destiny because you just don't know. And I know this because you don't know what you don't know. But talk to somebody that knows. It's just common sense. Look, okay, so if I'm a club, I don't know. You know what? The question is, can we do better? Can we do better? If we do better, what does that look like? Hey, man, them people over there, let me talk to these people. And, I said some nasty things about y'all, and I didn't want people, and you know what? I was just wrong. Can we do business? For real. We got the teams, and I need to know more. Can you do this for me? Or hire somebody else to do that for you, because you're clearly missing the mark. This is not good. And anybody that says that it's good is missing the mark. It's crazy. It's not serving us. And we as fans really need to speak up. If you're an alum of the school, you need to speak up and start getting on your presidents about these stupid deals. It's in plain black and white.
Yeah. I think the issue that I have is that the alumni groups really have to sit down with the president and really show the numbers of what is going on. Like, because at the end of the day, this is an avenue of money that you're missing out on. This is because if you go look at Kofi, if we go look at those big spread documents of how Power 5 schools are getting money, it's not from alumni giving.
And it ain't from ticket sales.
It ain't from none of that. So you're the biggest aspect of where you should be generating a quarter, at least a quarter or half of what your income should or could be outside of state funding should be from media deals.
I mean, you would think that darn Vanderbilt wouldn't have no athletic program based off, what their football team does. They're rarely on national TV.
Yeah.
In a game, but they're paid because they're in the SEC.
So the CAA is getting $2.5 million a year for 14 teams. What? Ooh, that's not even, Jesus Christ. What's that come out to? Let me see. 5. Let me see. Divided by 14. I hope I'm doing the math right. What's that like? 178 per team? 179, 180, like 180K per team?
But again, this is the questions that alums and fans need to be asking is, can we do better? Is this the best that we can do?
Absolutely not.
And if it's not, then you have to change it. Just like anything else, we looking at FAMU. Is this the best we can do? FAMU basketball? Is this the absolute best coach we could have?
Let's talk a little bit about the HBCU Go deal. All right. And I don't know this for a fact. Okay. This is just from what I've heard is that the deal is 10 years, 120, but Byron Allen has an opt-out every year. So is it really a 10-year deal? You might that this is just from what I've heard. Okay. I'm just telling you what I heard. I'm not telling you I haven't, me, I'm gonna tell you what I've seen. I've seen the documents. But from what I've heard is that Byron Allen and HBCU Go has an opt-out every year in the deal. The SWAC does not have the same opt-out. So he could be 3 years in, doesn't like the losses, and he can literally just cut ship and cut bait. So that's just what I've heard. You know what I'm saying?
Is this working? Can we do better? Is this the best that we can do?
It's not. And my issue with what is going on is the fact that the commissioner puts a strain or is kind of like deboing other schools to not do individual deals that would pay them more than $60K. That is my biggest knock on what is going on. The fact that the commissioner is putting you in a bad deal, then he's deboing you and scaring you and having Dr. Cavill be a mouthpiece for the scare and be like, exclusive, 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 and you're yelling exclusive at people who don't know what they're doing, which scares them away from signing deals to go forward.
The deal is, again, we can't be 1970s fans, 1980s black HBCU
There
fans
is one
anymore.
other participant in the conference.
We can't be those fans that are just sitting around allowing and waiting for someone to make a decision for us and not be an active participant in the scheme of change. If you don't know, as a fan, why don't you know?
Yeah.
If it's not important to you, why isn't it important? There's more money that is literally there for the taking if you're able to make the right decisions. There's a big difference between $60K and being able to take home $5, $10, $15 million per team.
Yeah.
And it's possible, provided you have the right people that are speaking truth to power, not trying to be seen, not trying to, again, ask the question, is this enough? Is this the best that we can do? Can we do better?
I doubt it. I'm gonna go Mr. D, then Coach Green, 7546, then Mr. Sargent. Hey, what's up, Coach Green?
What's up, man?
What's goody?
All right. Nah, I got a couple things I'm disagreeing with what you're doing, though, and I'm gonna just put it like that. It's not, I ain't gonna get into the media deal, but I feel like wherever your beef is with the SWAC, you shouldn't be bringing in HBCU game day into your beef, because all they doing is just reporting. They're not saying if it's truthful. They're not saying this is true and this is a lie. They're not doing that because you keep on comparing them to Fox News, which something Fox News does. And what you're doing is you're doing the same thing Fox News and CNN do to each other, is basically delegitimizing them by calling them Fox News. And for you to do that, that's I feel like you are, how should I put it?
Hey, put it however you need to.
I feel like it's not right, because the simple fact, because you always talk about you want Mr. Ford not to say nothing about you, but you're doing the same thing to somebody else that don't say nothing about you.
I'll agree with you on this aspect. I can agree with you on the fact that you're right on the Mr. Ford and HBCU game day aspect, right? I'll give you that. I'll give you that. My thing is this: the only difference is, the reason I talk about Mr. Ford is I put Mr. Ford on. Mr. Ford.
I understand that.
Hold on. I'll let you go. I put Mr. Ford on. Mr. Ford built his name off my platform. Mr. Ford got his name off my platform. Mr. Ford was calling into my show to get his name out there. I agree with how you put it, but just understand the whole dynamic. Now, my issue with HBCU Game Day is simply this, Coach Green, is that as a journalistic entity, which they claim to be, is that you do not tell both sides of the story. That's my only beef. And my beef is this: you can go to the commissioner and ask about the SWAC Classic, right? And you'll get the exclusive interview when it's supposed to happen. But when it doesn't happen, why don't you call the same interview and ask some questions on why it did not happen? That's my only knock on HBCU Game Day. Do you not think that's fair?
But look, I get that part, but still, how you phrasing everything is wrong. How you doing it? You can disagree with how HBCU Game Day does their report. You can disagree wholeheartedly if you don't like the way they do it. But everybody got their way of reporting. But you shouldn't be calling them Fox News, because all you're doing, like I said, you legitimizing them by doing that, because your fans sit there and go by what you say. Because like I always told you and Dion got the same thing. Everybody Whatever Dion say is water, and some of your fans on here is everything you say is water. So I feel like that's wrong to do that to HBCU game day, but you should separate that from wherever your beef is with SWAC. You should separate that.
But no,
you can disagree.
No. Listen, Coach Green, and usually I'll be yelling at this point in time, but I'm hearing what you're saying, but I can't separate the SWAC and HBCU game day because the SWAC uses HBCU game day as a mouthpiece. And the reason go ahead, Kofi. Go ahead, Kofi.
All right. Let me say this. All right. One of the things, everybody has a lane and everybody has a purpose, right? And one of the things that is hurting or has hurt HBCUs in times past is, I want to say, not asking the right questions, not asking the right, unwilling to ask because that's my friend. So because that's my friend, then that's going to keep me from asking the right question. I don't want to hurt my friend. Listen, it's this simple. If you are close and you are around me, let me finish.
I want to hear that.
Let me finish. What I'm saying is, on all sides, obviously, there could be a more excellent way. But to sit there and be complacent and not ask the question, I think is not going to serve any purpose. We'll be right back in the same spot. So again, the question is, A, is the contract with ESPN serving our HBCUs the best that they can? Secondly, can the HBCUs in the SWAC have a better look, the access is going to be the access, and it's not dishonorable. I think it's fair. We have to look at it as being fair. Now, should I go into the commissioner's office? Should I ask a coach and cuss him out and, be colored with it and be just downright disrespectful? No. But it is fair to ask, are these contracts the absolute best that we can do? And is it the best?
I understand that. Look, I understand it with the media contract. I understand that. Y'all all have questions. I'm not even talking about the media contract. I'm talking about two media entities, one just smashing their reputation, and the other not saying nothing back.
Yeah, obviously there needs to be more conversation, more mature conversations, but one of the things, again, we don't want to say nothing bad about it. What happens in this house stays in this house. That kind of mentality doesn't serve where we desire to go. And I think that at some point,
I get that.
mature heads need to open their mouth and communicate. That's all I'm saying. I hear your point, but
go ahead, Coach Green. Go ahead.
I get that. I get that 100%. But at the same time, you got to separate that from what you're doing with the SWAC. You got to separate HBCU game day from that. You could disagree with how they do it. You could disagree.
Listen, Coach Green.
Because they don't ask the questions you want them to ask.
Coach Green, let me tell you.
But you don't got to do that.
Coach Green, let me tell you straight up. I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate your opinion. But I'm not going to stop bashing HBCU game day. Because if you're going to be considered the number one source of HBCU news, if you're going to be considered the number one, if you're supposed to be the pillar of HBCU news, and you're not willing to talk about the other side of it, I'm going to call you to the carpet every single time. You can listen.
Look,
Go ahead.
The
conversation is over. Listen to me what I'm telling you. I'm not trying to yell at you. I appreciate you calling in and giving me your opinion. I let you speak. This conversation is over. There's nothing you can say to me that's going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. You might not like it. You might disagree with it, but that is your opinion. I appreciate you calling in, Coach. It's simple for it. Listen, guys, listen.
No.
At the end of the day, You can feel how you feel about what I say about Fox News. You can feel that way. But at the end of the day, this is my channel. And I do not like the fact of how HBCU Game Day only tells one side of a story and they never go back to that story. They'll tell you all the good things of something, but they have all the access. They get all the coaches. They get everybody that you want to talk to because everybody feels comfortable going on that platform. But when you never ask the hard questions, what real news do you give to the people? And then you end up like me having to get the contracts to tell you guys the facts. And then at the end of the day, you guys get the information. Now you go back and ask those questions because HBCU Game Day is not. Nobody's going to come on this channel and let me ask them. So you guys as alums, as teachers, as professors, as stewards, as ambassadors for the school, I then give you the ammunition to go and ask the hard questions to the rooms that you're able to get into. Simple. All right. Coach D, coming to you.
Hey, Scotty, how you doing, bro?
What's up, Coach D? What's up, Mr. D? Talking to you.
Good, good. How's everybody doing tonight? I just want to say people have to understand you're the only person that broke out their contract with the SWAC. I was doing some research. I'm not saying that the SWAC is like the Big Ten, but you have to know your value. And I'm looking, the Big Ten is well, the SWAC is probably about 10% of the Big Ten. They just signed a deal in October of last year for $2.25 billion with ESPN and Fox over a 6-year period. That's $2.5 billion over 6 years. This contract that they signed that you basically got for us to see is a travesty. I can write a check for $35,000 to them, to a school to help them out for that. It's just crazy. But when you got nothing from years before, when you were zero, when you were in the deficit, when the college presidents look at this and he comes up and say, hey, look what I've done. I've gotten a $400,000 deal. And when he does a percentage saying, oh, I've almost doubled my revenues from the previous contract going from 400 to 700,000. That's what you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So when he does percentages, he can say, I'm almost double my money. But really, I mean, is $700,000 worth that? And that was with the Dion money. So it's just a travesty, and people have to understand. You have to know your value. I'm saying that this contract with them should be in at least $80 to $90 million just for ESPN only. You know, so like that. That's really the number should be. And getting back to what the coach was talking about with Game Day, HBCU Game Day is a mouthpiece for the SWAC. They're giving them all the access. They're following everything. They're lining up. Now this year they started doing the broadcast things. They stole your idea and doing that. So they don't question. They don't do any balanced news, which is you look at the bad and the good on all articles. So they are. And that's what the SWAC chose to do. Keep up the good work. Holler at you later.
I appreciate the call, Mr. D. Let me say this before, and I'm gonna say this before I let you go, Kofi. Listen, guys, I don't have to say anything that you can't check on. You can't go back in dates. Nobody was doing pregame shows before me. Nobody was doing watch parties before me. Nobody was doing post-game live shows before me. Go check the stats, right? Go back to the spring. Go back to the spring when Dion first touched down and see if HBCU Game Day was doing a live post-game show. Wasn't happening. Go back in the spring and see if any of these other YouTubers were even around during the spring. Wasn't happening. So you might not think that I don't move the needle. I move all this. Everything you see in YouTube, the call lines. Guess who everybody comes to ask about call lines? Me. Why do you think everybody is using StreamYard? because I use StreamYard. The only thing that HBCU Game Day has over me is production. But other than that, everything they try to do, they done copied off me. Other than following Neely to Colorado. Because that's whack. You're called HBCU Game Day, and you're trying to make an excuse to follow Dion to Colorado because you know it does numbers. That's a sellout. That's a sellout beyond sellout. But they HBCU Game Day, and nobody want to talk about that, though. But we'll continue on. Hey, David, coming to you. What's up, D?
What's going on? What's going on, Scotty?
What's up?
Yeah, so I want to just make sure there was some clarity about that CAA deal. So I said 4 years, $2.5 million a year, because that's pretty much the minimum that deal can be, because it's at an 8-figure deal. And the other thing about that deal is that based on what they did previously, what the schools did previously with the money, they pretty much used that money to buy airtime on CBS, on CBS Sports Network, so they can have their games for the basketball. Because CAA is a basketball conference historically.
Are you?
That's what they're known for more than anything.
Wow.
So previously what they did, they took the money that they got. In the previous deal, there wasn't that much money. I think there was only like $40,000 per school. So they took that money and put it so they can get the airtime for basketball games. But they get more games this round. So they were asked, I believe, Jamie, somebody asked a question during the presser about, all right, so it's a bigger deal this time. How is there going to be money distributed to the schools? And they said that's going to be based on the board of directors for the CAA. So I don't even know if there's going to be any money going to come out of that. So we're going to see.
Wow.
So I'm curious to see how this is going to go, because we folks are curious about how much money is it and how much are they paying CBS to go to CBS Sports Network. They're getting more games, but it all depends on how much if the school's going to actually get any money out of it this time. Some of the institutions don't really care in the grand scheme of things, right? Most of the schools within that conference are like academic institutions. Most of them are R1 institutions.
Facts.
They're more focused on the academics than the athletics.
Facts.
So from their perspective, they just want to get the exposure to try to get more students. It ain't really about the athletics for them. So it's about their perspective for them.
Hey, appreciate the call, D. Yeah, I talked to Mr. Campbell about that. He said most presidents just want to become R1 because that's where the real money is. Becoming R1, getting that research dollars and things like that. But listen, man, let me say this before I let Kofi speak. And I got these last two callers, Kofi, but I'm gonna let you go after I say this. The reason I can say that HBCU games is selling out, because what would you have called me if I would have followed Dion to Colorado?
A sellout.
Okay. All right. If I was to drop everything, and now mind you, I didn't have no loyalty to HBCUs. None whatsoever. I came in as a newbie. HBCU Game Day was before Dion and everything like that. Just real funny to me. Now, if I was to drop everything and follow Dion to Colorado, I would have been called a sellout as well. So it's just funny to me that they're able to do that and nobody wants to call them a sellout, which they currently are doing. But anyway, but I guess it's the number. Anything you got, Kofi, before I take these couple callers?
No, just for me, and again, the shows, everything that we do, obviously, a lot of what we do obviously is entertainment, but at the same time, there's a journalistic responsibility to be fair, not to be rude, but to be fair, not to take it personal, not to be personal, not to do personal attacks, but to simply be fair and to ask the questions that need to be asked. And, right now we're at a crossroads when it comes to making money for real. I'm talking about like moving into millions, transitioning into billions of dollars, because we've proven to be a buying entity. Black people buy. Black people watch. Black people buy stuff from these sponsors that sponsor the network. So again, we need to value ourselves to the point that we can begin to truly respect our brands on the level that we need to be. We've already got the tradition. We've already got a heritage. We've already got a group of people and a demographic that people tune in to watch. We've got content.
Facts.
That other people don't have. All the advertisers want is numbers.
Impressions.
How many impressions? Those impressions convert into sales. A certain amount of those impressions convert into sale, aka Tubi. Everybody watched Tubi yesterday. Everybody's talking about Tubi. I guarantee you, Tubi's stock just went up.
Absolutely. Let me ask this to Mr. Levitt, because the one thing that bothers me about this dude is that he stays in the chat. And listen, there's nothing wrong with being in the chat. And shout out to Coach Green. Listen, it's all love, Coach Green. You already know what it is. It's always love with you. We always disagree to agree. He's like my big brother. Because the swag isn't getting 20 million. And this is what I ask people that look like, the dude off of Jamie Foxx. What's the dude off the Jamie Foxx show? The one that Jamie Foxx used to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, him. That's what he looked like. But Foxworth. Is that Foxworth? Is that what
yeah.
So my thing is this, Mr. William, because you never call in, you sit in the chat. If you don't value, if the swag isn't valued at 20 million or whatever else you think they're not valued as, then what would you value as? Because Braxton, thank you so much, Braxton. Appreciate you. Because you come in here in the chat, you throw up these random ass things. They're not FBS, they're not this. So then I ask you, Mr. William E. Levitt II, you look like you're important. You look like you're smart. But remember, smart, common sense doesn't come with degrees. So my question to you would then be, what is your value? What's your value? I would prefer you call in. I get tired of you living in the chat. I would prefer you call in and say what you feel the value of this swag is and explain your position. That's what it comes down to, because you're so quick to throw these little snob jabs at, oh, the swag ain't this, the swag ain't worth that, the swag ain't worth this. And you would be the exact same person that would have the swag commissioner sign a $700K deal. That would be you, Braxton. So I then ask you, call in and explain your position of why you feel the swag isn't worth said amount. Or do you think they're worth what they got, $700K? I would love to hear.
So let's talk about how we can access more money as a conference, because that's people have to see the picture, of what else is out there. How do we get to more money? What do we need to do? And it begins by having that conversation. But, if there are networks that are willing to pay our schools more money, and there's a way to do it, common sense says to freaking do it if it's not illegal.
Listen, I look at it like this. I really look at it like this. I read off a section in the contract that literally says after 60 days of the negotiating, the SWAC can name its price. The SWAC can name its price to ESPN, and then they would either have to agree or disagree for that contract. So if the SWAC comes out and says we want $300 million for the next 5 years, okay, you know what I'm saying? That's $5 million per school. 12 school, 5 million, 60 million times 5, that's 300 million. The SWAC can either say yay or nay. Just that simple. And then you go to another entity, because what you're getting now ain't worth it.
It's not getting you anything.
It's not getting you anything. So you can shoot for the stars because you're already getting crumbs. Let me get to these callers because they've been holding for a while. 7546 and Mr. Sergeant coming to you. I see you, Mr. Levitt. I see you, Mr. Levitt. I'm going to come to you. 7546. Hey, call me live. What's up?
So, number one, you're doing a great job on the show. Like I said, I just started watching.
Thanks,
number two, the swag is, I'm just going to throw it out, a $1 billion conference. If some of these athletes are worth $1 billion in endorsements, you can't tell me 10 to 12 HBCUs together can't be $1 billion enterprise. But remember what I always tell you. Remember this: these conferences, the SWAC, the MEAC, CIAA, whatever. They are a reflection of the campus leaderships. Who sits on the board of the SWAC? The university presidents,
Absolutely.
right or wrong?
Absolutely.
So we keep seeing these bad business deals on the campuses that trickled up to the SWAC. The SWAC, the MEAC, all of these conferences are a reflection of what these college presidents are doing day to day on these campuses. We see bad business deals on these campuses. You're going to see bad business deals at the SWAC or at these conferences. I like I said last time, I think we can go, you and I have a technology background. I work at HBCUs. You and I can go in, let's tell the schools, we'll build them a streaming platform, charge vendors, customers $30 a month, and they have access to all the videos they need to have access to. If you're only getting $36,000 per year from ESPN, what sense does it make for you to continue to go down this road?
Facts.
Because ESPN is not bringing any equipment on campus. They're actually going to tap into the internet access that's on the campus and stream the games. They're going to use the campus infrastructure. I worked in HBCU technology. I know the game. That's exactly what's going to happen. What's going to happen? ESPN is going to show up on Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday night. They're going to call the IT department. Hey, we need to test out the feeds. We need to test the internet speed, blah, blah, blah. This is what we're going to broadcast from. That's it. It's a bad business deal all the way around. To me, I just say, look, let's just go ahead and consult with these schools and get them agreement. Heck, like a few callers said, I can give you $36,000 myself.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like that's ridiculous, man. This is like the second or third bad business deal that this dude has done, and he still has a job.
Still has a job. Hey, I got a lot of callers, but you got to land the plane.
All right, but last point, just like Dion said, all of them ran like this, and I'm gonna stay on that. All of them ran like this. All right, have a good night.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Hey, Mr. Sergeant, I'm gonna go to Mr. Levin. I want to hear his comments. Mr. Levin, you live.
Scotty,
what's up?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Talk to me.
So, to answer your question that you asked me on the chat, what is the SWAC's worth? The SWAC's worth is what it's receiving. Let me explain. I'm in real estate. If I've got a four bedroom, 3 bath, 3.5 bath house at 2,800 square feet, if I list the price at $300,000, if nobody will pay me $300,000, but they'll give me $250,000, I've got to take $250,000. So then that becomes my value. If somebody comes in and says, hey, I want to pay $800,000 for that house, then that now the house value is now $800,000. So whatever the SWAC takes, that's what their value is. Now, we can debate the intricacies of what's going on with the deal, and it's a bad deal, it's a good deal. But at the end of the day, the commissioner is empowered by the presidents of the universities. They're the ones who give him the right to make the decisions on behalf of the conference. So you can't really be upset at him for making a bad decision, because the 12 presidents in the SWAC vote to say we give him the authority and the power to do it. They have to approve what he does. I know this because I sit on a board of trustees for a community college in North Carolina. There's nothing the president of that community college can do unless it's a vote, a majority vote of the board approves it. In the story.
All right, Mr. Levitt.
So that's my point. That's why I always say. Hold on. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
I like your example, but I think the variable that I'm gonna push back on is that it's a free market, right? So the SWAC has never been allowed to be in a complete free market. They signed that in 2019. You know what I'm saying? And they've been re-signing this ESPN deal for since what, 2010, 2007, 2006. So they have never been a chance to be in a free market deal. When you have a house and you're selling it, it's to a free market enterprise. Whoever's in that region, whoever's in that area, if they feel it's whatever it is, comps and all that type of stuff, right? I get all that. My thing is this:
right.
If you don't get the value that you want, because you wanted to sell it, you could always rent it out, make money on the property, and then when the price comes that you want, you could then sell it. It's the same thing with the SWAC. If you don't like the value at what you're being valued as, you can do it on your own, get money off of it, then come back to the table when you get the right deal. So I agree with you.
Scotty,
go ahead.
I got one question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, let me cut you off. Here's my thing about what you just said. Here's the part about this that is not being brought up. What else does ESPN provide for the SWAC and the MEAC? They provide the Celebration Bowl. They provide the Classic. They provide the Challenge. So if the SWAC and the MEAC walks away from that deal, do those games go away?
So
maybe it's a fear that the commissioners are scared to walk away and go out into the free market because they're scared that they're going to lose the Celebration Bowl, or they're scared that they're going to lose something else.
Okay, but at the same time, I'll give you this: if I'm not mistaken, the Celebration Bowl is not paid by ESPN. The Celebration Bowl is set up through ESPN, but it's paid through Cricket. Cricket pays the entities for all ESPN does is broadcast it. If under my understanding, I'm not saying I'm 100% right.
I believe you're incorrect, and I say that because out of 3 of the 6 years for the Celebration Bowl, they didn't have a sponsor, and ESPN was covering those fees.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Because remember, it used to be by the armed services the first couple of years.
Okay, so
then they lost the sponsor, and then Cricket came on.
I'll say this: I don't think that earning $1 million per 1 million, well, it's 2 million, but 1 million per school, or 1 million for your conference, 500,000 go to the school, 500,000. I don't think that's worth a whole media deal. That's just me personally. I don't think as they say, the juice is worth the squeeze. I don't think that's just me.
I agree. I can understand that.
That's just me logically, right? So,
but
go ahead.
Let me, like you usually say, let me land the plane.
Go ahead.
Until the SWAC does what the CIAA did. When we was in Charlotte, CIAA was in Charlotte for 12 years. They kept renewing. They finally got pissed off at Charlotte because they didn't give them enough money on return on the next deal. And they said, we're going to take it and we're going to go to Baltimore. We're going to put it out on the free market. And they went to Baltimore. Now Charlotte is begging the CIAA to come back, and they're telling them, you got to pay us 3 times what you offered us the last time we were at the table. So until that kind of balls get on somebody in the SWAC office, in the MEAC office, that's just where we're going to be. And that, again, comes from them presidents doing what they got to do.
But at the same time, and I'm going to say this.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I get you, but this is what I'm saying. That's being a part of a free market. If the SWAC never steps out and becomes into a free market, they can really never see their value because all they've known is ESPN for so long, and it's like a coddling experience. You know what I'm saying? So they need to experience.
They're scared, Scotty.
They need to experience the free market to see what their value is, but that doesn't mean ESPN truly knows their value. It's just that the ESPN has kept a lid on them for so long that if they touch the free market, you never know. It's like this. I'm going to hold you from testing the free market because if you do and you find your value, it might be more than I'm willing to pay. You get what I'm saying? So it's a little
that's fair.
It's a little pushback on both. But Mr. Levitt, let me say this. I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you giving me your opinion, and I'd love to hear your voice more often. I appreciate that.
No problem, sir.
Hey, thank you so much. Go ahead, Kofi.
No, man, it's the same thing. You are what you negotiate, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to HBCUs have been putting on classic football games for years. The Bayou Classic was in existence well before the Celebration Bowl. The Celebration Bowl is not our first go round when it comes to a classic, when it comes to putting on a game. Even when Fami, and I've told this story a million times, but when Fami and Tennessee State first went to Atlanta for the first Ebony Classic, or the first Atlanta Football Classic, the game sold out way before the darn game even occurred. It was a sellout. It was not on TV.
Mm-hmm.
It was standing room only at Bobby Dodd Stadium. Okay? Now, after 2 years of that, President Humphreys and the TSU president were like, okay, well, who in the world are these kids that 100 Black Men are sponsoring? Are they going to HBCUs? Like, where are they going? And how much are you all paying our schools? Well, we're going to pay y'all $250,000. They was like, you got to be crazy.
Yeah.
So they stopped. They cut that off with 100 Black Men, and they went and they did their own game. And they did it the same day that South Carolina State played Southern. The 100 Black Men was like, screw FAMU, screw TSU, we gonna do blah, blah. FAMU and TSU was like, okay. So that same day, FAMU and Tennessee State did like 49K in 1991, and I think the Atlanta Football Classic did not sell out for the first time.
Yeah.
So then after those 2 years, they were like, okay, so we need one of the entities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then it was like, well, they're still not bringing the same numbers that FAMU brings. Let's renegotiate. And then they got more money out of it.
Yeah.
If you don't know your value, you are operating from a place of, I want to say, or operating from a low place. You're operating from a deficient place. It's not going to bring the productivity you want because you're not operating. You don't even believe in your product.
Absolutely.
You're either going to have operate in faith or you're going to operate in fear, but you cannot have both.
Absolutely. This is my thing. At the end of the day, if the SWAC never gets to the name your price aspect of this contract, they're doing themselves. Listen, I'll tell you this. If the SWAC, first of all, if the commissioner sees this contract through and he's not fired, that's strike one on the SWAC. That's strike one on the presidents. Strike number two, if they don't make it to the name your price aspect of this contract, that is a strike three. If they don't ask for a minimum of a $300 million contract for 5 or 6 years, that is strike number three. You gotta play hardball. You gotta play hardball, and you gotta get yourself out into the free market to see what your primary rights mean on the open market. You gotta get there. Last two callers, Mr. Sargent and Mr. Carter. What's up, Mr. Sargent?
All right, gentlemen. So I went old school on you, and I had to write it down just to make sure I hit. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot about my theme music.
His whistling sucks.
All right. So let's begin by making a few corrections. Off script does not have a beef with the SWAC. The SWAC has a beef with the off script. Give me an explosion. Number two, when you are working from a place of low self-esteem, artificial humbleness, have an attitude and a platitude that we don't deserve, you get into these kind of contracts. Gaucher literally said that when in the Why Not Us video, that the athletes and the university were accepting things like they don't deserve any better. Number three, I got to correct that previous caller who's in real estate. I teach people how to win with money. And you know what the real estate person has? They have something called an appraiser. And an appraiser comes in and tells you the value of your house so you can determine how you want to live. FAMU did an appraisal with one of the big 6 firms to show the city of Tallahassee how much money FAMU is bringing in for our homecoming. The same thing needs to be done and can be done for the SWAC. And Ernst & Young and all these companies will love to take our money to tell us what our value is all the way down to the last dollar. Lastly, Scotty, what you said about people following you is so true. I never seen player interviews until you start doing it. I never seen call lines until you start doing it. You are dragging them with you. And again, I go back to my first point. You never had a beef with the SWAC. The SWAC had a beef with you. All right, sir. I am going to leave it there. You know, brother, I spoke to you like 2-3 times. I'm going to send you another $2. Peace. I'm out.
Hey, appreciate it, Mr. Sark. Oh man. Hey, Coach Pep, you live. What's up, Coach Pep?
Scotty.
Yes, sir.
I can attest to that. You started this whole HBCU sports talk, and I was one of your first listeners. But these other YouTube channels sprung up after you. But I got something to say. I don't know your name, but his the SWAC content. 45 years ago at Alcorn, we started that. Who that talking about beating them Braves? Who that talking about beating them Braves? And that was the content. That saying is worth $1 billion now. 75,000 fans in the Saints Arena Superdome got on that shirt. Who that talking about beating them Saints? That thing come from Alcorn. Alcorn. And Scotty, you better put a patent on that thing. I got time today. I got time today, because 20 years from now, that saying gonna be worth millions. I got time now. Right.
Yes, sir.
All
right, Coach Pep. Appreciate you. You sound much, much better, Coach Pep.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if you don't know Coach Pep been rocking me for a minute. He had a stroke, I believe, about a year and a half ago. He sounds so much better. Shout out to you, Coach Pep. I'm glad I could keep you going in your times of need. Coach Pep, you are amazing. He is actually the father of the Langston coach, Morgan, Quentin Morgan down in Langston. So shout out to Coach Pep. All right. But listen, I'm shutting the call lines down. Appreciate everybody for calling in. Listen, at the end of the day, guys, the only thing the SWAC can do is try the market. You gotta, as they say, try the spirit by the spirit. You gotta try it. You gotta try the market. You have to open yourself up to being a part of a free market. And it's too many entities out here that will pay you top dollar because they know what comes with HBCU is eyes. What comes with HBCU is dollars, right? If you're paying $12.99 for a Disney Plus package with ESPN, you will pay $9.99 to be on YouTube TV, or you'll pay $9.99 to be with Amazon. You'll pay $9.99 to be on Tubi or whatever else. They know you're going to bring your dollars. Okay? So it just is what it is. We got to move smarter. You got to get your value, and you got to get rid of bad leadership, i.e. Coach Dr. McNugget. All right, Kofi, you got any last words?
Look, the NFL is soon going to be streaming because they know their value.
Yep.
They know that you're going to pay to watch the Super Bowl. If the Super Bowl was paid TV, you would still pay to watch the Super Bowl. The NFL on Thursday night on Amazon Prime. Now, what's the man's name? His wife, they gave all the money to the HBCUs?
Jeff Bezos' wife.
Look, the SWAC could end up on Prime. The SWAC could be on Amazon freaking Prime.
I'll watch it.
The swag could end up on Tubi, for God's sake. The swag could end up on one of these apps that's willing to pay because they want the content. The homecoming events that we have, the classic events that we have, the Battle of the Bands events that you have, people want to see it, aka the movie Drumline, which comes on at least once a month on TBS. People enjoy our content.
And the culture.
People want to see the step shows.
Yeah.
People want to see the dance competitions because you can't get that with the Big Ten and the SEC. Believe in what we have, and let's do this. It's that simple.
Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Listen, we appreciate everybody from tuning in, man. We ended perfectly at 2 hours. I like this. Man, I feel real professional right now.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Feeling real professional right now. Guys, listen, appreciate it. I don't have anything coming up for a minute. Just want to wish everybody out there a happy Valentine's Day. Make sure you tell somebody you love them outside of Valentine's Day, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Do something special for your significant other if they believe in Valentine's Day. All right, so do what y'all do, but watch my shoes. Listen, until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holla. God bless.